Great start. Hello. We'll just see what's going on here with everyone. See if anyone wants to join. If not, that's okay. All the videos will be saved, so don't worry. Right, just a few things that I always do in the very beginning. One, hi, I'm Tori. I'm the Barmy Fox. Normally, we kind of do a little introductions thing, but sometimes I don't. So we're going to do that today. I'm also going to show you how to thread a needle today. Feel free to say your name if you want to. If you don't want to, that's okay too. Like, you don't have to. But a big part of this is stitching together with a community, all of us together. So feel free to interact, chat together, ask questions. If anything is going on that you want to be like, hey, I want to tell you about this, go ahead and just type it out and we can discuss it. I'm going to be teaching 2 to 3 stitches per day. And then on the very last day, we'll be closing it all up and I'll show you how to put it on the wall. So yeah, we're just going to get down to it. Do you know what I mean? So I see Leslie's here and Sarah and Teresa. Love it. I love to see it. I like to keep a little glass jar on my table, not for drinks, but they are from, for scraps. So if you've got a bunch of little scraps that you want to keep, because we're going to be using so many different colors of blue and yellow and orange, keep all your scraps and then you can use them throughout your piece. So there's that. You're going to need some scissors, and then most of the time we're going to be using all 6 strands. So when we go to use less than 6 strands, I'll show you how to separate them. All right. So the first thing we need to do is pick a color. We're going to thread a needle. We're going to do really easy ones today. We're going to do a back stitch. We're going to do a whipped back stitch, and we're going to do a seed stitch. And the reason we're doing a seed stitch today is because it's literally just a straight stitch all different ways. But there's 2 quite big areas where we're going to do a seed stitch, and you might need a little bit more time to do it. So I'm doing it on the day 1, knowing that you can work on it throughout the week if you finish the other stitches really quickly. Do you know what I mean? So let's get started. So the first thing you're going to need is blue. For the seed stitch, there's also an area that we're going to do in the orange or yellow up in the top with seed stitch. So pick one for that as well. Let me just grab blue. I have made an absolute mess. What I need to do tonight is sort all this out because it is so tangled, all of these things. That's quite a nice one, isn't it? I might want that one for seed stitch actually, because it's a little bit a bigger space. And then get another one. I'm just going to cut them all now because that's a little bit easier sometimes. We'll do that one. Okay. So we're going to thread a needle. Lots of you are probably like, we already know how to do this. But if this is your first time, it's really helpful to learn how to do it, okay? So we're also going to do a knot. So the first way to thread a needle is you're going to do this kind of motion like this. Yeah, so if you can do that, you can thread a needle. And what you're going to do is put your thread right at the very tip so that when you go like this, it's closed, you don't see it. And when you go like that, you're kind of pushing it out, see? Pushing out like that. So you're going to put the eye of your needle, which is the hole, right over top of where you see your thread coming out, and you're going to push it like that. And you've just threaded a needle. Okay? Easy peasy. The other thing that you can do is use a needle threader. So I'm just going to show you how one of those works. So I tend to give them in all the advent calendars or summer boxes. Obviously, I'm trying to do more digital stuff this year because of the tariffs. So yeah, because it's just getting out of control. Do you know what I mean? So we'll see about the Christmas one. I'm thinking like a Christmas workshop type thing, like summer camp, but like maybe November, like the beginning of November. and we can just like do a bunch of gifts and like, you know, stitch together. Okay, so you put this right here through like that, and then you take your thread and you put it in that thing like that. Yeah, and then you pull this right here through like that. And then that's also threaded it for you. So if you need a needle threader, don't worry, okay? Please don't worry. Just use one. There's lots of other ones too. There's ones that are like wire that kind of looks like that. But I don't like those ones because they always snap on me. Okay, now we're going to make a knot. So some people don't like to make knots on the back, and that's okay too. If you are not a knot person, you don't have to make a knot. That's fine. But for some of these, we'll need to. So it's always good to know how. So what you're going to do is go like this, and you're going to make a loop. So the easiest way is to kind of do it like that. And then tuck this right here up under like this. Okay. And then what I like to do is shimmy this all the way down to the end so we don't waste any thread. So you're just going to kind of pull this like that and put it all the way at the end. Yeah, and give it a nice tug. Yeah, and then you're going to need to do it again. And then again, shimmy that all the way down like that. Okay? Like that. Now the other thing you can do is the quilter's knot. Let me show you how to do that as well. So for the quilter's knot, what you do is you put your needle like this, and you put this over top. Yeah? And you're going to put your thumb over top of this one. This thumb over top. Like that. And then you're going to make some loops like this. Twist your thread around 2 times or 3 times. Yeah? And then put this finger here on the back of that. So you're holding those twists in your hand. Yeah? And then pull your needle through those loops all the way until you get to the very end, and then you have a knot. Yeah. Easy peasy. Okay, so for most of these, you can put these anywhere. Okay, a lot of the filling stitches, you can put them almost anywhere. For this one, we're going to do this line. Okay, right here, just this line. All right, so I'm going to show you a back stitch, and then I'm going to whip that same one. And then later, if you would like to outline some of your sections, you can use the back stitch or the whipped back stitch to outline those sections. Okay, so we're using all 6 strands. So some of you are going to be like, oh my God, we know. But I promise you, it's a good thing to know, okay? So what we're going to work on is obviously the back stitch, all 6 strands, but we're going to work on trying to make our stitches the same length. So if you make every stitch this long, every stitch is going to be this long, okay? You're not going to have one that's long and one that's short and then one that's tiny and then one that's medium. Try and make them all the same length, all right? So we're going to come up from the back like this. Just trying to find a spot that's good. All right, and then you're going to make your stitches. Now you don't want them to be too tiny or you're going to be here for absolutely ever, all right? So we've got our first straight stitch, and then you're going to come up about the same distance like this, and then back down that same hole that you did. Okay, now it's the back stitch because you're always going to kind of go forward on the line and then back down that line like this. Well, there's a thread saver back stitch as well, and I'll show you that too once we get a little bit further down. So you're just coming up farther on the line and then back down that same hole. You can tell that is not anchor floss. Or I might just be quite old. Okay, so I'm going to go a little bit closer. All right, so the thread saver method is like this. You're going to come up farther on the line, right, and then back down. And then for this one, you're going to come up this way, like you're going to start again, almost, and then down the same stitch length. And then you go farther out on the line, and then back down. And we're going to continue that. And then I'll flip it over and you can see how it's thread saving. So if you're just joining, feel free to say hello. You can say your name or where you're from. It's completely up to you. And yeah, we're just doing the back stitch right now. Then we're going to do the whipped back stitch. I'll probably show you with a contrasting color just so you can see. And then you can choose if you want to have the same colors for your whipped back stitch and regular back stitch, or you can choose to just watch it now and do it later. So like I said it before, if you wanted to do some outlining after you're already done, okay, you can do that. Okay, so I'm going to flip it over and then you can see how the regular back stitch here and the whipped back, and the thread saver back stitch will look a little bit different. So for the regular back stitch on the back, you kind of go over the stitches twice, and for these ones, you only go over them twice for that stitch. So you're saving a bit of thread. I tend to like the look of this one better, only because it lays a little bit nicer. When you go up through the same hole, sometimes you get like little bits where they don't quite lay as well, you know, or you can kind of catch your threads there. Ugh, this thread is so fuzzy. I'm wondering if it's a friendship bracelet one that got mixed up. But anyways, there's the end of that. And then to finish your thread, I like to do a little knot on the end as well, and really push that knot as close as you can. Push it down like that. Okay, so how I do that is I hold this thread here, yeah, as far down as I can, or you can put your needle there, and when you do that, the thread goes all the way down and gives a really nice knot down there. Okay, and then just snip it off. Now again, some people don't like to do knots, and I did say at the beginning, if you are one of those people, please do not feel like you have to do knots right now. You don't. Okay, you could always weave your thread through the back of some of your stitches. Some people just wait until the very end and do it all at the end. You can do that as well if you want to. It's completely up to you. So I'm going to get a different color and show you the whipped part, only so that you can see it really clearly. If you would like to do it in the same color, or if you'd like to wait till the end and do an outlining at the end, you can do that. It's completely up to you. We're going to start the same way with a knot. And then I'm going to show you the whipped back stitch. The whipped back stitch is fun because if you mess up, and you can, it's very easy to mess up, especially if you're just learning how and starting out. I've just mixed those two. If you're just starting out and you haven't quite got the line like perfect, okay? I say perfect like this because there is no perfect. Like, I can't be perfect, you can't be perfect, like, we're all gonna mess up, it's fine. If you haven't quite got it in a nice straight line, maybe some of your stitches are a bit like this, maybe there's a little bit of a like this, or maybe they don't quite touch. You can do a whip and it will actually whip it through to make it look really nice and smooth. Also, if you've got a light colored thread, you can see every single stitch very, very clearly. So a good example of that is kind of like this light colored one and this dark colored one. So you can see all the stitches here, and in this part right here, they almost kind of blend together. Yeah, now they're different stitches obviously, but you can really, really see each and every stitch on a lighter colored thread. So that's not to say don't use light colored threads. It's just that sometimes if you're like, oh, wow, I look like I had too much to drink when I did that stitching and I was not drinking. Okay, you can always fix it by whipping it. Yeah? And what you're going to do is when you're finished, you can use the same color or a different color again. When you're finished, you're going to come up here at the very end. I'm going to zoom it in just a second. Come there at the end like this, okay? And you're going to pick either under like this or down like this, okay? Both of them are under, but you're going kind of from bottom to up or from above to below like this, okay? So up, oh, it's raining, or down. It's completely whatever you're comfortable with. Obviously, it's easier for me to go up like that, so that's the way I'm going to do it. You're going to go under your threads, so between your thread and your fabric, not through the fabric, not through the threads, just underneath. Can you see it a bit better like that? Underneath, like that. Okay, and then back down. Go to your next stitch and go under. Sorry, I've just hit it. So do you see what's kind of happening here? If I pull it straight. One, you're getting a really nice candy cane effect, which is quite sweet. But also you're covering up all of those stitch holes. So if you look where the thread lays, it lays right over. Let's see if I can get it closer. It lays right over where your stitches are. So here's one. Here's one. Yeah, if I lift this up, there's one. Okay. Why can't it be like that all the time? That light was so good. So we're just throwing it like this underneath each one. Now, I'm going to say it again because I feel like some people are going to be like, I don't want that like two-toned color on my hoop. I want them all to be the same color. They can be the same color, and I often use them like that as the same color. So not having the two colors for the whip, just having one color. And just making your line a little bit more smooth as you go. So you can have the same color blue twice as your back stitch and your whipped back stitch, or you can use different colors. It's completely up to you. And this is kind of when I tend to do my little pep talk, which is that like you just need to try your best. Like yours is going to look different than mine. You're going to use different colors. You might use this stitch somewhere else. You might outline an area where I didn't outline on mine. That is okay. Okay. Please don't look at other people's and say, oh my gosh, mine looks nothing like that. Mine looks so bad. Oh, I hate it. Oh my gosh, blah, blah, blah. No, we're not having that. Okay. Absolutely not. So don't even come here with that. Try your best. If you're enjoying it, keep stitching. Yeah. So, I mean, try and do maybe 5-10 minutes. It covers a multitude of sins. I'm going to read that comment out because, honestly, sometimes I think I'm nailing this. And then I look at it and I'm like, wow, no. Like I nailed it in the dark. Like, what am I doing? But yeah, like just do your best. Like try your best and, you know, stitch for 5-10 minutes, take a break, like do your finger exercises. Okay. Stretch your arms, like relax your shoulders, like, you know what I mean? And if you want to keep going, keep going. Please don't get to a point where you're like, I have to finish this. I have to finish it by tomorrow. Like I'm so stressed out. No, because it makes it not enjoyable. It doesn't make it peaceful. It doesn't make it relaxing. It makes it stressful. And that is not what we're doing here, okay? We are being zen, peaceful. If you're enjoying it, keep doing it. If not, we need to stop, okay? That's kind of the rule, yeah? So we're going to do the seed stitch now. And the seed stitch is going to go 2 places. Pick one of the areas at the top, these thicker ones. Any of the thick ones, do you know what I mean? Any of them. I am picking this one and this one because it's going to be really, really easy to hide under the clouds. All right. So I'm going to do this one, and you can pick an orange, a yellow. You could even do a blue if you wanted. I just didn't want the whole thing to be blue. So we're doing oranges and yellows at the top. And then we're also going to do this tiny little spot over here in the blue. Okay. So a seed stitch is like this. It's just tiny little stitches every which way, about the size of a seed or a grain of rice. They should be tiny. I'm going to do all 6 strands with mine, but obviously you can do differently if you want. Okay. So it's going to look like this. That one. Okay. It's also going to be up here. So you can kind of see the difference in the orange and the blue. Same stitch, just a bit different because it's a different color. So here we go. All you're going to do for this one is you're going to make your stitches tiny. It's this section right here. Okay. Just this one right here. So come up from the back. You can tack this in any way you want to, but you're just making tiny little straight stitches. You don't want them to touch, okay? And you don't want them to all go the same way, meaning you don't want there to be a pattern. You don't want to look at it and be like, oh, look, you just made a bunch of T's or whatever. So I'm just going to get a piece of scrap fabric and show you what I mean. Oh, perfect. I don't think this is going to work. But you want it to kind of be like this. Okay, not like this. Because your eyes immediately go, that's a pattern. That's a pattern. Or this right here looks random, even if you kind of do the same kind of set of patterns. You know what I mean? Because here I've done 1, 2, top, 1, 2, top, 1, 2, top. Yeah? Try not to make them like this. And that is the most difficult part about this, is that your brain automatically wants to make a pattern. Okay? The other thing is that some of this is going to be covered up as well, the edges, by other stitches. So to make it look a bit cohesive, some of them are kind of like half stitches. Yeah? And some of them are full, kind of if they kind of go off the edge a little bit. I made some of them a little bit shorter. Just kind of like imagine that you've got a pattern, like a patterned fabric, you know, and you've just cut off a piece and put it here. So we're just trying to make these about the same. Tiny little grains of rice. You kind of want to have like the same spacing around them. Honestly, it's the most difficult part, is to try and make these random, because your brain automatically wants to make a pattern. And if you're like, no, honestly, this will be easy, like, try. Because I promise you, you're gonna end up going like 2 next to each other, and then 2 next to each other, and then you're gonna be like, oh, I've made a pattern. But don't worry, okay? Don't take them out. Don't stress out. Just see where it goes. I have a really hard time. Yeah, I don't know what it is about these, but every time I do exactly the same thing. Sometimes it helps to draw them out first. So if you've got your pen there, you can draw them out first and then just stitch over top of them, because then it makes it a little more mindless when you're stitching them. My other issue is making them the same size. Like there's always one or two that are like ginormous, and then all the rest of them are like tiny. Like those last two I just did. Like they tend to just like get bigger and bigger as they go out. But don't worry, okay? Like my brain right now, boom, boom, 2 straight ones. Ugh. But honestly, once you have them all filled in, this whole area filled in, you're not going to notice if there's any kind of pattern at all. So please don't look at it and think, well, I can see it. I can see it. Because if someone else is going to look at your work, they're not going to see it. Just like when you go out, you're not going, oh my gosh, that woman has like really large arms, or like, you know what I mean? Or like, wow, her hair is a bit frizzy. But those are all things that like you would probably pick up apart about yourself, you know? You might find one thing that you think, oh gosh, I don't like this one thing, but I promise you, no one's looking at that. Same as your embroidery. So relatable. Just to be clear, I don't think I have large arms or anything like that. It's just an example. You know what I mean? There's always one thing about kind of your artwork that you always look at. And I always say, leave it alone. And if it still bothers you, then you can take it out later. Okay? Because if you keep looking at it and it keeps bothering you, it's going to always bother you. But I felt a raindrop and I was like, no, I am inside. Maybe not. If it keeps bothering you, it's always gonna bother you. So, you know, take it out and redo it then. But sit with it, because sometimes I'll say, oh, I hate that color, or oh, I've just used the wrong stitch there. And then I come back the next day and I go, oh, there's something I was supposed to change about this. And I don't even realize it now. Or you stitch it at night and then you think, I smashed this. And then the next day you're like, I used the wrong color. Because I do that a lot. Especially if I've got like black. And I've often like went to go get more black and I've chosen like a dark navy blue instead. And I'm like, oh crap. That's not good. So like half a name would be like dark black, and then half a name would be in navy blue. I'd have to start again. So yeah, this is the soothing part once you can get the randomization down. Leslie says, I love your life lessons through stitching. I always feel like I'm being so corny that people are going to be like, oh, just shut up and just tell us what we're going to stitch. It's not that deep, Tori. But sometimes I think you think of these things and then you think maybe someone would relate, you know? And I always think that, especially, you know, like the wear the shorts. There's I forget who it is, but someone's got their marketing campaign that's like wear the shorts, you know? And I always think that about when I get dressed and you're like, oh, but you know, these don't look nice on me, or I hate how they, you know, my thighs are quite, you know, bigger or whatever. And then I think, do you know what? When I go out, I don't think I've ever been like, oh gosh, her thighs are too big. Or like, wow, her roots are showing. Like, it's just, you don't necessarily think like that about people immediately. You know what I mean? So, there you go. There'll be one person that's like, I think like that. But yeah, just think about it when you do your work, when you do your embroidery. And sometimes it's only when you point it out that other people are like, oh yeah, I see that now. And if you would have never said anything, it would have been fine. So there you go. That is the seed stitch. I am gonna finish this a little bit, and then you can do the rest of it at any time, okay? So I'm just gonna show you which areas are the ones we're gonna do today. This one, and then I've done this one here, not the one down by the waves, but the next one up. That's kind of half in the cloud and half not. So it'll be this one. Okay? And you don't have to do it by tomorrow. You don't have to finish any of these stitches at any time. So please, please, please don't stress out. Please don't think, oh, I have to have this section done before I can do the next section. That's not that kind of stitch along. We're learning a lot of stitches on this one, and we're just filling the areas. If there's ever a stitch that you don't like, and that's the stitch that we're going to do that day, you don't have to do it. Fill it with a different one. Okay, so like if you hate seed stitch, if you really don't like doing it, I don't like saying hate because I don't think I really hate any stitch except for one. It will go to YouTube after this, yes. I will try. I still have to get up ones from February though. The problem is that they're all mixed up because of how they downloaded, which is the reason I can't get them up. First it was the internet, and we just changed to Virgin, which is a stupid story I'll tell you all about later, which is the worst internet I've ever had, but they finally tried to sort it out kind of yesterday, and today it's gotten better because we have until Wednesday to cancel it and go back to Sky. But yeah, all the videos are all messed up, so I'm gonna try and do these as I go, because like I said, all the February ones are all mixed up together. And it's going to take ages to sort out. Ding, ding, ding. Teresa. You know me so well. But yeah. So, there we go. Completely forgot what I was saying. Oh yeah, if you don't like a stitch, then just fill it with a different stitch, okay? It's not that deep. Please don't think that you have to. Please don't think I'm going to be offended. Honestly, if you have a different idea for any part of this, do it, okay? You don't have to be like, do you mind if I do this? No, just do it. Show it to me. Just stitch it and then show it to me, okay? Also, if you tag me, look how long these stitches are compared to the beginning. Oh my god. If you tag me in your stories, I'll share them in my stories, and then other people can see what you've been stitching and how you've been doing. Please, please, please be proud of your work. If you're going to take all these hours to do it, you might as well show it off. Yeah? Okay. So, let's go like that. And that's it for today. So today's was probably going to be a little bit longer because I did 3 stitches, but also we had the, threading the needle and doing knots and blah, 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 all of my silly stories, etc., etc. But that's what we've done today. So don't forget to do this one at some time during the week. Tag me at the Barbie Fox, and I will share your stories, your story posts and your progress and how you've done, etc., etc. And honestly, I cannot wait to see all of your hoops. So please don't be shy. If you've got a question, slide into the DMs and ask. Other than that, I will love you and leave you, and I will speak with you soon, like tomorrow. Okay? Bye!